All right, question 1b. It says one root of the equation is 3 times the other. Find the values of m. Now, just looking at this, you can actually do a bit of guess and check. Unfortunately, guess and check is generally not, it could be, but generally not a valid way of doing this. And if you know that we've got roots of 12, now the signs looks like are going to be the same and they're both positive. If that was the case, and I'm not saying it is, but if it was, you could just go ahead and say we've got an x and an x. Factors of 12, or factors of 12 are going to be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and that's where it ends. But can you see one set of factors where 1 is 3 times the other? Well, we can. 6 is 3 times 2. So while 1 might be a 2 of some sort, the other might be a 6 of some sort. And of course, it could be negative 2 times negative 6, which would be 12. Although I got plus m could still be plus or minus a number. So that looks like a possible solution, but doesn't really help us too much find the values of m, because these, of course, could be plus or minus, and that's the trap. But of course, m, if it was this the case, it's going to be a 2 and a 6, which is going to be an 8 of some sort. But this is guess and check. We don't really want to use guess and check. We want to have a more solid way of doing this. So we're told we've got two numbers. I'm going to call those numbers k. So we've got one factor, which is a k. In fact, we could probably go, let's have a look here. So you've got a k, and you've got, so one, let's call one a k. And we've also got another one, which is 3k. So if I said k times 3k, because you've got to multiply these two together, and that, of course, would have to equal 12, because 2 times 6 is 12, k times 3k would be 12. So, of course, that means that 3k squared is 12. And if we wanted to find k, well, we could divide both sides by 3. And k squared is suddenly 4. Now, if I find the square root of both sides, it becomes a plus or minus. Well, the square root of k is k. The square root of k squared is... Sorry, you couldn't see that just before. All I did was I just found the square. Said k squared therefore equals 4, and I found the square root of both sides. That's all I've done. So k is equal to what? Plus or minus root 4, which is just plus or minus 2. Nice and straightforward. But of course, that's multiplying these two things together to get our 12. Of course, we're going to add these two things together to get the m term, or the b term, if you like. So let's add them together. So we've got a k, and we've got a 3k. Here we are. And of course, that's equal to 4k. And we know that 4k must be equal to the m value. So I've got 4k is equal to the m. But of course, we don't know what m is. It could be plus or minus. We have to allow for that provision. So, but we do know what k is. K was plus or minus negative 2. So there's going to be 4 lots of, and I'll just put 2 here, but it is plus or minus 2, yeah, is equal to plus or minus m, which means that m will equal plus or minus 4 times negative, or 4 times positive 2 is going to be an 8 of some sort. It could be a positive 8 or could be a negative 8. So there is our value for m. So that is how I would proceed, and that is how I would go through and find it. You could use guess and check, but you are going to leave yourself a little bit open in terms of showing some kind of evidence for how you got there. Because really this is, as I said, really just guess and check. I would adopt this approach. Hopefully that makes sense.